जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल। Thank you so much once again, Param Karuna Prabhu, for kindly being the host for today's 44th session on Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam. I'm very grateful to yourself as well as Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu Prabhu, who couldn't be here today. He was busy with some seva. So I'm very grateful to you, Param Karuna Prabhu, for kindly being the host for today. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for letting me do this seva for some small.
I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful, Prabhu. Thank you to all the wonderful devotees who've been part of this journey. For the past 2 or 3 weeks, we could not have our series of talks on Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam due to my travel, but I'm very happy that we are able to resume. And in a new verse, we have a new presentation for the 44th session of Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam. The screen is in front of you. Till now, we have finished the first 3 verses, discussion on the first 3 verses. And the last verse was Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sahishnuna, Amanina Manadena, Kirtaniya Sadahari. And then from there onwards, we are moving ahead. But before we can move ahead, I would like to once again specify that we were on the third verse. And this is a verse which I show at the beginning of every verse of Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam. So we have done Cheto Darpanam Arjanam, the first verse. We have done Namna Makari Bahuda, and we are about to go from Trinadapi Sunichena to the fourth verse, Na dhanaṁ na janam. But before that, once again, the verse that was composed at the very beginning of Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam series. This verse is in the meter Shardul Vikridikam. Yannisyanditamastadha bhagavato Gaurasya Vaktrambujat Yadyatnena Charakshitam Sumanasa Shri Rupa Goswamina Nitam Yad Bahuvritti Kridbhirabhita Suswadutam Chaivatat Shri Shiksashtaka Padma Madhvaliriva Leleyatam Me Mana Yannisyanditam Ashtadha Bhagavato Gaurasya Vaktrambujat. That nectar, which was produced in 8 different ways, that is in 8 different verses, from the 8-petal lotus-like mouth of Bhagwan Gaura. Yad yatnena charakshitam, and that nectar which was protected with great efforts, by whom? Sumanasa, by the most intelligent, Shri Rupa Goswamina, Shri Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, in his Padyavali. And not only was it protected by Shri Rupa Goswami, but it was also nourished. Nitam yad bahuvritti kritbhirabhitah suswadutam. That nectar of 8 verses was made extremely sweet and tasty in all ways by the various commentators. Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭaka Padma Madhu, Aliriva, like a bumblebee. Ale lihyatam me mana, may my mind repeatedly and excessively lick that 8-petal lotus nectar of Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam. So the bumblebee is compared to our minds, and we have already tasted the nectar given in the first 3 verses by the various commentators. Param Karuna Prabhu, are we now ready to move to the 4th verse?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So let the bumblebee go to the 4th verse of Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam. We are now The bumblebee is about to settle on the fourth verse. But before that, I'd like to first and foremost discuss something very important. And this is something which my Guru Maharaj had once mentioned in a personal discussion that I had with him. He was describing the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, and these glories are mentioned in the Padma Puran. They are known as Srimad Bhagavat Mahatmya. And in the Srimad Bhagavat Mahatmya, the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam given in the Padma Puran, Shri Narad Muni comes up to Bhakti Devi, and obviously Bhakti Devi in Kali Yuga is very unhappy because her two sons, and Param Karuna Prabhu, you may be knowing the names of those two sons, Gyan and Vairagya, are almost about to die. They're very old, Gyan and Vairagya. Shri Narad Muni comes across Bhakti Devi and she's crying with both her sons. One son is named Gyan, one is named as Vairagya. Shri Narad Muni comes there and she sees her pitiable condition, and Narad Muni in front of her gives a very big promise. And this promise, these verses were recited by my Guru Maharaj, and these are the verses. Narad Muni said, Kalina sadrishah kopi yugo nasti varanene tasmin tvam sthapayishyami gehe gehe jane jane. Prabhu, kindly read the translation.
O charming Bhakti Devi, there is no other age that can be compared to Kali Yuga. In this age, I will personally establish you in each and every home and within each and everyone's heart.
So Narad Muni took the responsibility. Tvam sthapayishyami, I'll establish you. Gehe gehe jane jane, in each and every home and in each and everyone's heart. And Narad Muni doesn't stop there. Narad Muni then takes a very big vow. And this vow is recorded in the Srimad Bhagavat Mahatmya. Anya dharman stiraskritya puraskritya mahotsavan tadanaham harer daso loke tvam na pravartaye. Anya dharman stiraskritya. Bhakti Devi, neglecting all other paths of dharma, of religiosity. Puraskritya mahotsavan. If I do not propagate you all around the world, tadanaham harer daso loke tvamna pravartaye, then I shall no longer be known as a servant of Hari if I do not propagate you by organizing various devotional festivals. Let it be known that I will no longer be the servant of Hari. And when he was narrating this, my Guru Maharaj said in Hindi, कि अगर मैंने तुमको दुनिया में सब जगह नहीं फैला दिया तो मैं नाम का भगवान का दास नहीं कहलाऊंगा. So this was Narad Muni's proclamation that I'll no longer be known as a das if I don't propagate you all around the world. And then he said something which really touched my heart and said that the personality who finally got this done for Sri Narad Muni was none other than Srila Prabhupada. He said, my Guru Maharaj did it. And dear devotees, at that point of time, he became very emotional. And he said with great pride, it was my Guru who fulfilled the major portion of this prediction, this vow that Narad Muni had taken thousands of years ago. And therefore, dear devotees, from time to time, I do express my gratitude to Srila Prabhupada. Here is a verse dedicated to Srila Prabhupada based on this pastime of Narad Muni. It's a freshly composed verse. The verse is in the meter, Shardul Vikriditam. Anyan dharma pathan nirasya bhagavad bhakte kalau tvamaham sarvatra prathayishya ityati dridham Shri Narada svikritam sankalpam safalikritam harimude yena svagurvagyaya तं श्रील प्रभुपादमेकमनसा वन्दामहे सर्वदा. Prabhu, kindly read the translation.
The extremely firm vow accepted by Sri Narad Muni was as follows. O Bhakti, sidelining all other paths of dharma in this age of Kali, I shall exclusively propagate you everywhere. By the order of his Guru and for the pleasure of Sri Hari, the personality who fulfilled this vow of Sri Narad Muni was Srila Prabhupada. Unto him we single-mindedly offer our obeisances at all times.
This, dear devotees, is a special verse dedicated to Srila Prabhupada, because the vow taken by Narad Muni, Gehe Gehe Jane Jane, I'll bring you to each and every home. Bhakti Devi, I'll bring you in the heart of each and every person. And if I don't do that, let it be known that I will no longer be considered as a servant of Hari. And it was Srila Prabhupada who made it possible that in each and every home there will be a festival in the name of Sri Hari. So Jai Srila Prabhupada, I'm very grateful to Srila Prabhupada. And it's also a fact that in many of the kirtans in the early days, Srila Prabhupada would ask the devotees, did you see anybody was there? And devotees would say, we didn't see anybody. And Prabhupada would say, Narad Muni was here. So it's it was a very heart-touching moment for my Guru Maharaj as well as myself. In a talk, he revealed this particular thing. And I'm very happy to begin the new verse on Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam on this very positive note.
This is so beautiful, Prabhuji. This is so beautiful.
Thank you. So, dear devotees, a new verse for the fourth verse of Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam. Pranavena kritam dhanyam vedaistretayugam tatha gitaya dvaparam dhanyam kalihi shikshaštakena cha. Pranavena kritam dhanyam. Satyayuga was blessed with pranav, omkar. Because, dear devotees, in Satyayuga, the Acharyas mention that the primary method of achieving the Supreme was meditation on pranav. Veda is Treta Yugam Tatha. Treta Yuga was blessed with the four Vedas. Pururava began the procedure of offering Veda Yagya. And since then in Treta Yuga, the four functions of Vedas, Hota, Udgata, Advaryu, Brahma, began. And therefore, the four Vedas were blessing Treta Yuga. Gitaya Dvaparam Dhanyam. Dwapar Yuga was blessed with Mahabharata. But especially in the Mahabharata was the most important part of Mahabharata, that is Bhagavad Gita. But Param Karuna Prabhu, what are we residents of Kali Yuga blessed with? Please tell me. What is Bhagavan's utterance in the age of Kali? Please tell me.
The Siksastakam.
Therefore, Kali Shiksastakena cha. The direct utterance of Bhagavan in the age of Kali. Because Pranav is a direct utterance of Bhagavan in Satya Yuga. Vedas are direct utterance, direct breathing of Bhagavan in the Treta Yuga. Gita is direct speech of Bhagavan in Dwapar Yuga. But where is Bhagavan's direct speech in Kali Yuga? And that is Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam. Kalihi Shiksastakena cha. So Kali Yuga has been blessed with Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam. All glories to Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who spoke the Shiksastakam in these 8 verses, because he knew that we are not meant for 700 verses. He knew that we are not meant for the 4 Vedas, and he knew that we couldn't meditate on pranav. Therefore, he left for us Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam. Now, let's move ahead from where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was previously. The Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Kahite kahite Prabhu Danya Badila Shuddha Bhakti Krishna Thai Magite Lagila. kahite, while reciting what? The devotee is the previous verse. Param Karuna Prabhu, what was the previous verse?
Trinadapi sunichena.
Trinadapi sunichena. So, kahite, while reciting the previous verse, Dainya Badila, Mahaprabhu's humility increased. Shuddha Bhakti Krishna Thai Magite Lagila. Thus he began to pray to Krishna for Shuddha Bhakti, for pure Bhakti. Now, dear devotees, a question arises. Does Mahaprabhu not have Shuddha Bhakti already? Param Karna Prabhu, does Mahaprabhu not have Shuddha Bhakti?
He's the source of that. He obviously has it.
So why then did Mahaprabhu ask for Shuddha Bhakti? Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami reveals in the next pyre. Premera Swabhava Yaha Premera Sambandha Se Mane Krishna Mora Nahi Prema Gandha. The nature of prema is such that wherever there is a relationship of genuine prema, the devotee thinks that they do not have even the faintest trace of prema for Krishna. So Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, Say Mane, such a person, such a devotee thinks, a devotee who has genuine prema thinks that I do not have even the faintest trace of prema. And this is visible everywhere also in the Brihad Bhagavatamritam, where Sri Narad Muni goes to each successive devotee, but all of them say that I do not really have prema for Bhagavan. Explaining this, Sri Radha Govindanath says, Mahaprabhu spoke the previous verse with a mood of dainya. What is dainya? Self-pity as well as humility, and vishad, dejection. Because the verse previous to that, Namna Makari Bahudha Nijasarva Shaktis, it ended with Durdaiva Midrisham, my misfortune. Iha Jani na Anuragah. I have no attachment to Bhagavan's Naam. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dainya increased. And then he uttered Trinadapi Sunichena. After uttering Trinadapi Sunichena, Mahaprabhu's dainya and vishad were expressed in that particular verse. And then Sri Radha Govindanath says, while reciting that verse, he naturally felt that his heart doesn't have the qualities described in the verse. Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sahishnuna, Amanina Manadena, Kirtaniya Sadahari. Therefore, he cannot utter Harinam in a way that will lead to prema. And therefore, thinking of the lack of prema within his heart, he became even more absorbed in dainya, self-pity. And because Mahaprabhu is thinking that I do not have the qualification to be Trinadapi Sunichena, therefore Mahaprabhu uttered the next verse, that he wants only one thing now. And what is that? This is what Mahaprabhu asked for. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarīṁ kavitāṁ va jagadīśa kāmaye mama janmanīśvare bhavatād bhaktir ahaitukī tvayi. This is the fourth verse of Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam, originally recorded in the Padyavali by Srila Rupa Goswami and then compiled in the Chaitanya Charitamritam, Antilila, 20th chapter, verse number 29, by Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Now, like every verse, we are also going to study the meter of this particular verse. So, Param Karuna Prabhu, let's study the meter of this particular verse. Now, the peculiarity about this particular meter is that we will have to check the odd quarters separately and the even quarters separately, the odd line separately and the even line separately. So, Prabhu, how many lines are there in this particular verse?
4.
4. And which are the odd lines?
First and third.
First and third. And obviously second and fourth are the even lines. Let's take the odd line. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarīṁ. So Prabhu, I have marked the guru, the long syllables in red. Can you quickly make a note of which syllables are guru on the odd lines, Prabhu?
Nam, nam, sun, reem.
Yeah, but the numbers, Prabhu, which ones?
Oh, sorry. 3, 6, 8, 10.
Yes, Prabhu. So please make a note of this. This is in the odd quarters. 3, 6, 8 and 10 are guru, and the rest of the syllables are laghu. And this is in the odd quarters. This is in the first quarter of the verse. So 3, 6, 8 and 10 are guru, and the rest are laghu. Laghu means they require only one eye blink of time, and guru requires 2 eye blinks of time to pronounce them. Now even quarters. Kavitāṁ va jagadīśa kāmaye. Prabhu, how many total syllables are there in even quarters?
11.
11. And did you notice in odd quarters how many syllables are there?
10.
10. So 10 syllables in odd quarters, 11 syllables in even quarters. Now, Prabhu, can you note the numbers of guru syllables for even quarter?
3, 4, 7, 9, 11.
All right. So please note it, Prabhu. 3, 4, 7, 9, 11. So now we have a rule that odd quarter should contain how many syllables, Param Karuna Prabhu?
10.
10. And 3, 6, 8 and 10 syllables should be guru. And how many syllables should even quarters contain?
11.
11. And 3, 4, 7, 9, 11 syllable should be guru. Now, let's check the third quarter. Mama janmani janmanīśvare. So, Prabhu, is this matching the previous odd quarter?
Yes.
Yes, 3, 6, 8 and 10. And even. Bhavatād bhaktir ahaitukī tvayi. Does it match the previous even quarter?
Yes.
All right. So, this particular meter is having 10 syllables on odd quarters, 11 syllables on even quarters. The meter is named Viyogini, also known as Sundari. This is Ardha Samavrittam, half symmetric meter. Half symmetric meter means the odd quarters are symmetric with the odd quarters, and the even quarters are symmetric with the even quarters. This is what you call Ardha Samavrittam, half symmetric meter. So for the first time in Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam, we are coming across an Ardha Samavrittam, a half symmetric meter. And every meter can be sung beautifully. So this is Viyogini. Viyogini means a lady who is separated, long separated from her lover. Sundari also means a beautiful lady. Both are names of this meter. Most of the names of the meters are in feminine gender. Many a times I have said this, Bhagavan has invested most of the beauty in the feminine gender. So most of the beautiful entities you will find in this world belong to the feminine gender, and the rishis have taken care of this, and they have made sure that the meters also carry beautiful feminine names. So this is the name of that meter, Viyogini or Sundari. Once again, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarīṁ, kavitāṁ va jagadīśa kāmaye. mama janmani janmanīśvare bhavatād bhaktir ahaitukī tvayi. Here is the anvay for the verse. Param Karuna Prabhu, I will read the Sanskrit. You kindly read the English. Jagadish.
O Jagannath,
Kāmaye.
I desire
Na.
neither
Dhanaṁ.
wealth
Na.
nor
Janam.
followers
Na.
nor
Sundarīṁ.
a beautiful spouse
Va.
nor
Kavitāṁ.
poetic ability.
Janmani.
In each and every
Janmani.
birth
Mama.
of mine,
Bhavatād.
let there be
Ahaitukī.
causeless
Bhakti.
bhakti
Tvayi.
towards you,
Ishvare.
the Supreme.
So Prabhu, can you just read it in a sequence?
O Jagannath, I desire neither wealth nor followers, nor a beautiful spouse, nor poetic ability. In each and every birth of mine, let there be causeless bhakti towards you, the Supreme.
So Prabhu, have we included each and every term in the Anvay?
Yes, Prabhuji.
And do we have a legible translation?
Yes.
So here is the translation of the verse. O Jagannath. So here Jagadish, dear devotees, is referring to Jagannath. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada will say, because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is addressing Jagannath, the deity of Sri Jagannath Puri. O Jagannath, I desire neither wealth, nor followers, nor a beautiful spouse, nor poetic ability. In each and every birth of mine, let there be causeless bhakti towards you, the Supreme. So, putting this back in perspective, Mahaprabhu's dainya is increasing, Mahaprabhu's humility is increasing. Why? Because the previous verse that he recited, he felt himself to be utterly incapable of reaching the standards that were described in the previous verse, Trinadapi Sunichena. So his humility increased and he wants to reach those standards. And therefore he says, Jagannath, I do not want any of these things. I do not want to have any material desires. Please let there be causeless bhakti towards you, life after life, in each and every birth. Now, let's begin understanding the verse. The first Sanskrit commentary we are taking is the Anubhashya of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada says, Hey Jagadish, Jagannath. Oh Jagadish. And what does Jagadish mean? Jagannath. It means Jagannath. Aham dhanaṁ na. I do not desire wealth. Janam na. Followers. And wonderfully, he combines sundarīṁ kavitāṁ va. If you remember Param Karuna Prabhu, in the Anvay, I separated sundarīṁ and kavitāṁ. Do you remember, Prabhu, what did I translate as sundarīṁ?
Yeah, I noticed that. Beautiful spouse and then
Kavitāṁ as poetic ability.
yes.
But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada combines sundarīṁ kavitāṁ and he makes sundarīṁ an adjective of kavitāṁ. So sundarīṁ kavitāṁ va, beautiful poetic ability. And he says, Ityadi kaitavatmaka trivarga murlam karma. And all other fruitive acts that are based on the cheating propensities of dharma, artha, kama. I do not desire them. Na kāmaye. But however, mama janmani, in each and every birth of mine. And then he says, Ataha apaunarbhava rupam jnanam api na kāmaye. By saying birth after birth, there is some indication. And what is the indication? That I am willing to take another birth. And I have highlighted this many times, dear devotees, that moksha is not the goal of the Gaudiya Vaishnava. And here is another confirmation of that same principle. Because Mahaprabhu says, janmani. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada picks up on that and says, Ataha apaunarbhava rupam jnanam api na kāmaye. I do not even desire jnana that results in liberation. In other words, I do not even desire that liberation. Apitu, but tvayi adhokshaje, let there be ahaitukī bhakti. Ahaitukī bhakti is nishkama vyavadhan rahita, bhakti devoid of selfish desires towards you whom adhokshaja. Adhokshaja means adha kritam akshajam jnanam yena. Adhokshaja who is beyond material perception. In other words, I neither desire enjoyment in the form of dharma, artha, kam, nor do I desire moksha that liberates me from the bonds of this world. He says that in the Sanskrit. Aham dharma artha kamatmakam bhuktim bhavabandha mochanatmikam muktim na prarthaye. Then what do you desire? Kevalam shuddham eva sevam tvaccharaneham yache. I only ask for pure seva at your feet. Iti artha. This is the meaning of the verse. So this, dear devotees, is the Anubhashya commentary of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. So Param Karuna Prabhu, we have combined sundarīṁ with kavitāṁ in this interpretation. So now sundarīṁ becomes an adjective of kavitāṁ. And hence we will need an alternate translation of the verse according to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. All right. So here is the alternate Anvay. Can you please read the Anvay, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. O Jagannath, I desire neither wealth nor followers nor beautiful poetic ability. In each and every birth of mine, let there be causeless bhakti towards you, the Supreme.
Yes. So this is the Anvay as desired by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. And you might have noticed that in the Anvay that was done previously, kavitāṁ and sundarīṁ and kavitāṁ were kept separately. So my job here is to give both Anvays, which I am going to do. In the discussion, the previous Sanskrit commentators will treat sundarīṁ separately, kavitāṁ separately. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada will treat sundarīṁ as an adjective of kavitāṁ. We'll respect both opinions and we will see both commentaries. And in the broader discussion, I'll take sundarīṁ separately, kavitāṁ separately, so that justice is done to all the commentators. But this is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada's take on the verse, and the Anvay is done according to his particular take. So, Jagannath, I desire neither wealth nor followers nor beautiful poetic ability. This is the change that I have highlighted. In each and every birth of mine, let there be causeless bhakti towards you, the Supreme. So this is an alternate Anvay or translation, which is based on the commentary of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Now we move ahead to commentators further back. Shri Utsavanand, in his Anand Chandrika commentary on this particular verse, says, Na dhanaṁ iti. So the verse is na dhanaṁ. Why do they write the first few words in the beginning? Because in a manuscript, they used to write continuously the commentary. So they did not have that space to separate out and mark everything. So they would write na dhanaṁ. This is where the commentary for na dhanaṁ is beginning. So that's how they used to write. Right? So that's why we have this na dhanaṁ iti. So now the commentary begins on the verse na dhanaṁ. Hey Jagadish, hey Jagannath. This is what he also says. Jagadish means, oh Jagannath. Tvayi, in regards to you, that is Bhagavati Ishvare, mama janmani janmani. Prati janmani ahaitukī hetu nimitta rahita shuddha nirmala bhaktir bhavatād. In relation to you, that is Bhagavan, that is Ishwar, let there be. And let there be is bhavatād. So Param Karuna Prabhu, what is the meaning of bhavatād?
Let there be.
Let there be. So a verbal form expressing desire, expressing or anticipating some ashirvad from Jagannath. Oh, Bhagavan Jagannath, by your mercy, let it be. So ashirling, this is called, in Sanskrit, it's called ashirling. So ashirvad is praying to Jagannath for ashirvad, for benediction. So this is the benedictory case in Sanskrit, ashirling. Bhavatād, let there be. Causeless, ahaitukī, pure, spotless bhakti, life after life, janmani, janmani, for me. Oh Lord, he says, hey Isha, dhanaṁ na yache, I do not ask for wealth. And when dhanam, he says, swarna rupya ratnadikam. wealth in the form of gold, money, gems, etc. Because some people restrict wealth only to money, not to gold, etc. So he's saying dhanaṁ includes all sorts of wealth. The devotees in the modern context, it also includes stock market, etc. So we also have to take the modern context. So dhanam nayache, I do not ask for this. And then he says janam, and he says janam paricharakadikam nayache. Now I do not ask for followers, and followers he says paricharaka, servants, etc. So it's a very important point. Many times when we say janam, the meaning of janam is restricted only to disciples or followers. But dear devotees, traditional commentators have broadened the meaning by saying janam to also include relatives, family members. So janam also means that I do not want, the association of more and more of these relatives, extended family members, the pleasure of having their company, etc. So that is the meaning of janam also, according to previous commentators. So janam not only means followers in the form of disciples, janam also means followers in the form of family members, relatives who are with us. And then he says, na sundarīṁ. Now he takes sundari separately. So this is different from the interpretation that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada has taken. He says, sundarīṁ apsara bharyadikam nayache. So I have put a question mark there in the original Sanskrit because instead of bharyadikam, it should be bharyadikam. So the Sanskrit seems to be a bit off, so I have put a question mark there. But taking the intention of that, I do not ask for a spouse in the form of a heavenly damsel or a beautiful wife, etc. Na yache kavitāṁ va, and kavitāṁ kavya rachana shaktim va. Neither do I ask for kavya rachana shakti, poetic ability. Iti adikam sarvam na kāmaye aham. I do not ask for all of these. So this is what he explains. He doesn't explain he explains the rest of the verse above. Janmani, janmani, prati janmani, ahaitukī, hetu nimitta rahita, shuddha nirmala bhakti bhavatād. So he's already explained the rest of the verse in the very beginning. So this is Shri Utsavanand's commentary to the fourth verse. As I said, there's also a commentary ascribed to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his commentary says, Punar ati dainyena. With great humility, Mahaprabhu uttered this verse. Na dhanam iti. So the commentary is beginning. Hey Jagadish, O Jagadish, aham dhanam na yache. I do not ask for wealth. Then he says, andhyatvat. Why? Since it makes me go blind. Blind with what? With pride. Andhya, the feeling of going blind. He has not said with pride. In brackets, I have added that. And I will explain later when we get into detailed discussions on each one of them. Dhanam, janam, sundarīṁ, etc. So, andhyatvat, since it makes me go blind with pride. Then he says, janam nayache. I do not ask for followers. And what is the reason? He says, mithya abhiniveshatvat. Since they make me absorbed in the falsities of the world. Then he says, salankaram kavitāṁ nayache. I do not ask for poetic ability decorated with ornaments. Why? He says, garvatvat, since it leads me to pride. Then Bhagavan may ask, kim yachase? What then do you ask for? In reply, tatra aha, he says, tvayi Ishvare. In relation to you, tvayi, that is Ishwar, that is Supreme Lord. Sarvartha datari, who can bestow everything. Mama janmani janmani ahaitukī, hetu shunya bhaktir bhavatād. So, let there be bhavatād, causeless bhakti, ahaitukī bhakti for me, life after life, janmani janmani. And bhavatād he translates as bhavatu iti artha. He says it should be bhavatu, but Mahaprabhu, instead of writing bhavatu, Mahaprabhu has written bhavatād. So, you can see in the commentary, bhavatād bhavatu iti artha. So, the meaning is bhavatu, let there be. But instead of writing the form as bhavatu, Mahaprabhu has written the form as bhavatād. And why has he done that? The next commentator will definitely clarify that. The next commentator is Shri Veer Chandra Goswami, who in his commentary to Shri Padyavali, Rasik Rangada, has taken up a discussion on this verse. In the Rasik Rangada, he says, Hey Jagadish, O Jagadish, dhanādikam aham na kāmaye. I do not desire wealth, etc. He says, Va shabdas cha artha. The term Va, Param Karna Prabhu, what is the meaning of Va? I have given in the bracket. Just the term Va, what in bracket? Or. He says, Cha artha is used in the sense of cha. And what is the meaning of cha, Prabhu?
And.
So it's not that I don't want only one, but rest of them I want. It's not used in or case. It is used in and case. Cha artha. I do not want wealth and I do not want followers and I do not want a beautiful spouse and I do not want poetic ability. So the term va, which is used, should be understood as cha. And this is what Shri Veerchandra Goswami is saying. And then he says moksha adikam api. And then I do not even desire moksha, etc. Nanu, if Bhagwan asks, O sadhu, kim kāmaye se? What do you want? Vada, speak your desire. Tadeva dadami, I will fulfill it. Iti atra, in reply, Mahaprabhu says, Mama iti, O Jagadish, O Lord, capable of bestowing all that is desirable, sarvabhishta dhan samasta. May there be, or let there be, bhavatād, causeless bhakti, or ahaitukī bhakti. And what is the meaning of ahaitukī bhakti? He says, phalanusandhana rahita, devoid of any desire for results, for me. Mama, birth after birth, janmani, prati janmani. Let there be ahaitukī bhakti for me. Now, then he takes up that point. Tostadva shishiti tungas tadadeshaha. So, the devotees, tostadva ashishi iti tungas tadadesha. Now here he is quoting grammar, but this grammar is Sankshipta Sar Vyakaranam, a grammar that I had not studied till date. So when I saw this particular part of the commentary, I was a little confused as to what he is saying because I could not understand tos tadva ashishi iti tungas tadadesha. I could not understand what he is saying. So later I understood the term bhavatād. He says tad, tos tad va ashishi. The term bhavatād, may there be, is the same as bhavatu. According to the grammar sutra, tos tad va ashishi, Sankshipta Sar Vyakaranam of Kramadishwar. And now this is a very rare grammar and I never studied this grammar. I had to find this out with great difficulty. I found one edition of Sankshipta Sar Vyakaranam. It was published in Bangla script. So this is Sanskrit in Bangla script. And I have highlighted the sutra number 641. It says, To stad va ashishi. So the Sanskrit commentary says, Ashishi gamyamanayam to sthane tad va bhavati. So instead of tu, it becomes tad. So bhavatu, you can also optionally have the form bhavatad. That's all. That's what it is saying. So I had not studied this particular grammar. But Panini, of course, you ask, Panini sutras do everything in the world. All that can be done from other grammars can be done by Panini. So I have to bring it to my home ground, dear devotees. And now here is the same point through Panini's grammar, because perhaps in Bengal, he might have, Sri Veerchandra Goswami might have studied other grammar such as Sankshipta Sar Vyakaranam. I had not studied that grammar. I have to explain it from the point of view of the grammar that I have studied. So the verbal root for bhavatad is bhu, and lot is the suffix. Ashishi ling lotau. Panini says in ashish. Ashish means in whenever you want to have benedictory mood, you can use two forms, ling and lot. So we have used lot with the verbal root bhu. Bhu means to be. And we want let there be. That is the final form we want. So bhu and the suffix is lot. And that lot turns into tip. From the sutra tip prasji sipthastha mipvasmas ta atam jhatha satam tam itvahi mahi. Panini Sutra 3478. It turns to tip. And then the vikarana. the middle suffix, in the middle infix shap is introduced. You remove all the elements bhu, tu, and ti turns to tu using Panini's Sutra Eruhu. And then bhu turns to bho, tu. And then using the Panini Sutra Sarvadhatuka Ardhatukayo. And bho tu becomes bhavatu using Echoya Vayavaha. And bhavatu, the tu in bhavatu becomes tat using this sutra. Tu hyo statanga shishyanyatarasya, Panini 7.135. This is the equivalent sutra in Panini's grammar, which he was quoting from his grammar, to stad vashishi. So this sutra I know, which I have highlighted in red. This is the system which I have studied. And the system which he had studied is Kramadishwar's Sankshipta Sar Vyakaranam. So instead of bhavatu, it becomes bhavatat, and bhavatat becomes bhavatad using Panini Sutra, jhalam jashonte. So smooth like a hot knife on butter, Panini's Vyakaranam. Dear devotees, here is bhavatad, the final form that Mahaprabhu used in his verse, derived using Panini's grammar. Meaning remains the same. Dear devotees, if you don't understand grammar, forget all of this. The term bhavatad is the same as bhavatu, and the meaning is may there be. All right. So this is the essential meaning of this. So a question arises then, why not use the standard form bhavatu? Why did Mahaprabhu not use the standard form bhavatu? And why did he go for an additional sutra and a lesser known form bhavatad? The answer to that, dear devotees, is to preserve the structure of the Vyogini or Sundari meter. Why? Because if you notice bhavatu, all three are laghu syllables. Bhavatu. All three are laghu syllables. And if we sing like this, bhavatu bhaktir ahaitukī tvayi, meter will break at 2. We need a guru syllable, long syllable there. So instead of bhavatu, Mahaprabhu said, bhavatād bhaktir ahaitukī tvayi. So to not break the meter at 2, bhavatu. Therefore, instead of bhavatu, Mahaprabhu uses an alternate form, bhavatad, which has the same meaning as bhavatu. But the utility of using bhavatad is that it preserves the Vyogini meter, the Sundari meter, and therefore Mahaprabhu uses bhavatad instead of bhavatu. So this was a slightly technical discussion on the grammatical and metrical aspects, but it is unavoidable for anybody who wants to study the verse in detail. The reason why I give all these grammatical and metrical details is so that we can understand our own compositions in our own sampradaya that have been composed by our own acharyas. Bhagavan himself has composed this, and Bhagavan Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had studied Panini's grammar from Gangadas Pandit. So the sutras that I showed from Panini's grammar were the sutras that Mahaprabhu employed when Mahaprabhu composed the verse and used the alternate form, bhavatad, instead of the standard form, bhavatu. So this is what is the reason for using bhavatad instead of bhavatu. All right. Sri Veer Chandra Goswami's commentary is done. Now we will come to Sanmodan Bhashyam of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So there's a lot of Sanskrit. So instead of giving all the Sanskrit, I am giving the essential English of what he has said. He said, in the beginning, devotees hear Harinam from the mouth of their Guru. First, they perform Shravan. It's so important, dear devotees. He mentions this because many devotees don't hear Harinam or Mahima of Harinam, glories of Harinam or Tattva of Harinam from their Gurujanas. They just get a mantra from their Gurus and then they think that I will do the rest of the work. In fact, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur has said that one should hear about Harinam, one should hear Harinam as well as Tattva about Harinam from the mouth of the Guru, Shravan, so that all the doubts regarding Harinam go away. Then they become eligible for Kirtan in an offenseless manner. Otherwise, they will have all these sorts of misconceptions around themselves. One misconception, only after chanting 35 million or 3.5 crore Mahamantras, just Kali Santarana Upanishad say that you will become free of all the sins. So many such misconceptions will remain if we don't perform Shravan from the mouth of a Guru. So that Shravan is very important. Then we become eligible for offenseless Kirtan. And then he says, however, as long as they do not become free of these direct, indirect materialistic tendencies, the stage of bhava bhakti doesn't arise for them. And thinking of this, Mahaprabhu specifies the pure nature of Uttama Bhakti by giving Vyatirek Lakshan, negative characteristics in this verse. He's pointing out a very important thing. Mahaprabhu is explaining Uttama Bhakti in a negative manner here. Param Karuna Prabhu, this verse is spoken in a positive sense or a negative sense?
It's negative in the sense, yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. So, na dhanaṁ, na janaṁ, na sundarīṁ, na kavitāṁ va kāmaye. So the thrust of the first two lines is on neti neti, Vyatirek Lakshan. Negative characteristics are there. And then the remaining verse gives positive characteristics. Mama janmani janmanīśvare. And not only will the remaining two lines give the positive, the next verse will also give the positive. Ai nanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam budav kripaya tava pada pankaja sthita dhuli sadrisham vichintaya. So these will be the positives that he desires. But Mahaprabhu is beginning with Vyatirek Lakshana, negative characteristics, so that devotees can understand what are the obstacles to attaining Uttama Bhakti. So Mahaprabhu says, O Jagadish, I do not desire material wealth, followers, a beautiful spouse, or a poetic ability. The phrase na dhanaṁ, I do not desire wealth. In this, the term dhanaṁ indicates wealth gotten lawfully through following varnashram dharma, as well as all forms of prosperity in this world. It also indicates calm, fulfillment of other material desires through a gross and subtle body. And it is in the phrase na janam. The term janam indicates general followers, wife, children, servant, relatives, etc. The phrase sundarīṁ kavitāṁ, I do not desire beautiful poetic ability, refers to mundane poetry besides the kirtan of Bhagavan. Then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur quotes Srimad Bhagavatam 4:26-46. Sa vidya tanmatiryaya. True education is that by which one obtains a mind dedicated to Bhagavan. So, I do not desire any poetic ability which is separate from what the Srimad Bhagavatam says. That is what Mahaprabhu is saying here. Mahaprabhu says, I do not pray for all of this. However, I do wish to have causeless devotion towards you, life after life. Then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, the phrase janmani janmani, birth after birth, have been used because getting rid of the cycle of birth and death is completely in Krishna's control. When he desires to clear one of the cycle of birth and death, one will automatically be liberated from all worldly pains. Why should one pray separately for such things? Therefore, Mahaprabhu does not pray separately for moksha. In every birth after birth, if you want to give me birth after birth, let me have only ahaitukī bhakti tvayi, causeless devotion towards you. This is what Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahasaya says. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada wrote another Sanskrit commentary, which is Anuvritti. Same points he repeats. I do not desire wealth, followers, or beautiful poetic ability. You are my object of seva life after life. Let me have causeless bhakti for you life after life. Now, important thing. Now he starts saying, the phrase sundarīṁ kavitāṁ, which is beautiful poetry, refers not only to beautiful poetry but also to the flowery words of Vedas that propagate dharma, first purusharth of life. So I do not want that beautiful poetic words of the Vedas which give me dharma in the material world. The term dhanaṁ refers to artha, the second goal of human life. The term janaṁ refers to wife, etc. That is kama, third goal of human life. So dharma, artha, and kama, he points out in the verse of Siksastakam. Then he says, O Bhagavan, I do not desire dharma, artha, and kama. Besides that, I do not even desire moksha. I do not engage in your service being impelled by these four, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Your service is the only impelling force that engages me in further service to you. This is what Mahaprabhu says. This is Vivriti of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Now we have done all the major Sanskrit commentaries on this verse of Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Mahashay, however, in the Gitavali, composes a wonderful song about this. So I will conclude with the wonderful song. This is one of my very favorite songs from Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And usually I don't discuss the songs because the songs contain more or less the same things that he has written. But the wordings of these songs are very nice. So dear devotees, I am concluding with this particular song that Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur wrote for this specific verse of the Shikshashtakam in his Gitavali. Prabhu tava padayuge mora nivedana nahi magi deha sukha vidya dhana jana. O Bhagavan, at your lotus feet, I submit the following. I do not want bodily pleasure, material education, wealth, or followers. Nahi magi swarga ara, moksha nahi magi, na kari prarthana kona, vibhuti lagi. I do not ask for swarga or moksha nahi magi, liberation. Na kari prarthana kono vibhuti lagi. I do not ask for any perfections of Ashtanga Yoga. And what do you ask for? Neja karma guna doshe, jai jai janma pai, janme janme jeno tava, nama guna gai. All I ask for is this. Nija karma guna doshe, by the merits and faults of my own karma. Jai Jai Janma Pai, whatever birth I may get. Janme Janme Jeno Tava Naam Gunakai. May I sing of your names and qualities in all those births. Ei Matra Asha Mama Tomar Charane ahaitukī bhakti hriday jage anukshane. This is my only submission at your feet. May causeless bhakti towards you awaken in my heart at every moment. So, dear devotees, we can see na dhanaṁ, na janaṁ, na sundarīṁ being replicated in the mood of the song. Vishaye je priti ebe achaye amar sei mata priti hauka charane tomara. And if Bhagavan says, what about your material desires? You ask for Shuddha Bhakti birth after birth, but I also see you have some material desires remaining. He says, Vishaye je priti ebe achaya amar. Whatever attachment I have towards sense objects, say mata priti hauk charane tumar. May I have the same towards your feet. So there's a famous verse in Vishnu Puran. Ya priti ravivekanam vishayeshvana paini. Tvam anusmaratah same hridayan napasarpatu. Whatever attachment materialists have towards their sense objects, let me have the same attachment towards you and let your thought never leave my heart. The same mood expressed in this particular stanza. Vipade sampade tahan thakuk samabhave dine dine vriddhi hauka namera prabhave. Now, if Bhagavan says, you want to stay life after life in the material world, life in the material world is very unpredictable. There is extreme calamity somewhere, sometimes there's extreme prosperity. There's vipade sampade, in calamities or prosperity. Thakuk samabhave, let me remain in a mood of equanimity. Dine dine vriddhi hauk, namer prabhave, let the glorious effect of Harinam increase in my life day after day. Finally, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, Pashu Pakshi Hai Thaki Swarge Vaniraye Tava Bhakti Rahu Bhakti Vinoda Hridaye. Pashu Pakshi Hai Thaki. Let me stay as a bird or a beast. Swarge va niraye, in heaven or hell. O Bhagwan, tava bhakti rahu, let your bhakti stay. Bhakti vinod hriday, always in the heart of bhakti vinod. In this way, dear devotees, very important. If I stay in this world, whether calamities or prosperity, let me stay equally and let the glories of your Naam, the glories of your form, the glories of your pastimes increase within my life day after day. And this reminds me of one particular verse, which I will speak as a concluding verse. I had shown this previously, but a very wonderful verse. Vipado naiva vipada, sampado naiva sampada, vipad vismaranam Vishnu, sampanarayana smriti. So kindly read the translation.
Calamities in this world are not truly calamities, and fortunes are not truly fortunes. The real calamity in this world is the forgetfulness of Vishnu, and the real fortune is his remembrance.
Yes. So vipado naiva vipada. Calamities in this world are not truly calamities. Sampado naiva sampadaha. Prosperity, fortunes are not truly fortunes. Vipat, the real calamity, Vismaranam Vishnu, is forgetfulness of Vishnu. And Sampan, the real fortune, Narayana Smriti, is his remembrance. Thank you very much, dear devotees. We have concluded the first part of the discussion on the fourth verse of Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam. Yadatra Schalitam Kinchit, Vidvam Saha Purayantu Tat. Yadatra Saushthavam Kinchit, Tad Guroreva Menahi. Yadatra Schalitam Kinchit. If there's any mistake, Vidvamsa, your learned devotees, Purayantu Tat. Please correct any mistakes. Yadatra Saushthavam Kinchit. But if there's anything nice, please remember, Tad Guroreva. It belongs to my Gurujanas. Menahi. It doesn't belong to me. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Now, the discussion on the Sanskrit commentaries is done. The discussion on the Bengali commentaries will begin, and we will begin next time by discussing the commentary of none other than Shri Radha Govindanath. Thank you very much. Param Karuna Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. This is so nice, and you covered so much depth. The number of commentaries that you covered is probably each worth one class itself. And to keep things concise, you went through it in so much detail, but we can see how much depth is there in each of these commentaries. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I wish this first class itself would have been 5 classes.
Hare Krishna. No, previously devotees would have access only to one commentary or 2 commentaries, and they would try to extract maximum meaning from whatever they would have. We are blessed with the age of digitization, so let's make the most of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So we'll go into the Q&A. And I think every week we repeat the guidelines or the guardrails. So one question at a time, and come back in line for the next second question. And we'll, after we have served everyone, we'll come back for seconds. Please keep it informal. No names of institutions or personalities. Keep your questions generic and informal. And what else, Prabhuji? Is that those are the 2 main things. And then, if you would like to join the classes live and get announcements for that, you can send an email to an email address, which Prabhuji will show on the screen shortly.
Yeah. If anybody wants to join the talks, they can send an email to this particular email address. And please make sure you include your WhatsApp number and country code. Because without a country code, it's difficult to assume which country the number is from. There are 2 groups. One is the Siksastakam group for announcement. It has the announcements that come. And another is the Q&A group. The Q&A group is for asking queries strictly related to the talks. So these are the true groups. If anybody wants to join, please send an email to this particular email address. Please make sure you include your WhatsApp number and country code.
Perfect. Any other announcements, Prabhuji?
Let's keep it informal. Also, I'm recovering from a cold and some dry cough, so please tolerate with me. Let's begin.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving so much time and energy to all the devotees. This is truly a blessing for the entire Vaishnava community. So we'll start in the sequence that I see on my screen or on my side. And the first we will go to Ajay Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Hare Parshad Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so much for this very beautiful class and a very in-depth commentary from the previous acharyas. Since you're suffering from cold and cough, and even then you are giving such a beautiful and illustrated class, so I'm really grateful and thankful to you for doing all this. My question is related to the first commentary by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. If you could be kind to open that slide, please.
Sure, I'll pull out that slide of the Anubhashya and I'll share my screen. Yes, it should be in front of you. Can you see?
Yes, Project. Yes. So it says that in the second line, and all other fruitive acts that are based on the cheating propensities of dharma, arth, and kam. So my question is that how dharma, arth, and kam can have cheating propensities?
In the second verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Dharma Projita Kaitavotra, Dharma, Artha, Kama as well as Moksha have been rejected as Kaitava, cheating, because they do not lead directly to Prem of Bhagavan. And from there he has derived it.
Okay.
So you will need to see the second verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. What I'll do is I'll very quickly show you the second verse of Srimad Bhagavatam with the commentary of Srila Sridhar Swami, because that's the original Sanskrit commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. And I will show you what Srila Sridhar Swami says in his particular commentary to this verse, so that we can have an idea of what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada is referring to. So here is Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.2, and I'm zooming in. Here is Dharma Projita Kaitavotra. So Dharma, religiosity, which is pra-ujjita kaitava, which is devoid of any cheating tendencies, atra, here in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Sridhar Swami, in his commentary, he says, Atra Shrimati Sundare Bhagavate, in this beautiful Bhagavatam, Paramo Dharmo Nirupyate, the highest religiosity is depicted. Paramatve Hetu, what is the reason for it being the highest? Prakarshena Ujjitam Kaitavam. Nicely, some things have been discarded from the Bhagavatam. What have been discarded? Phala Abhisandhi Lakshanam Kapatam Yasmin. So, Phal Abhisandhi. All these forms of religiosity which are done with attaining some material gain, dharma, artha, kam. And pra shabdena, by the suffix pra in pra ujjita, moksha abhisandhi abhi nirasta. Even the desire for moksha is also rejected. Kevalam Ishwar Aradhana Lakshana Dharmo Nirupyate iti adhikaritopi dharmasya paramatvam. So only that dharma which is aimed directly at bhakti of Bhagavan is depicted in the Srimad Bhagavatam. That's what Srila Sridhar Swami says. And therefore, from there, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada takes it and says dharma, artha, kama is also cheating. So I hope that clarifies.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Next, we will go to Vrajaraj Gopal Das.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanwats Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. It's so nice to see such nice presentation. It's like each of the Acharya's commentaries is like various vegetables on a platter of prasadam. So it is so nice to taste each one of them. Um, my question was around the the slide that you show where you showed Narad Muni's vow to Bhakti Devi. Before as a prelude to that, you mentioned that Narad Muni approaches Bhakti Devi, whose two very old sons are Jnana and Vairagya.
Right.
I didn't understand if there was a connection between mentioning that and Narad Muni's vow.
Yeah, I mean, I had specified that my Guru Maharaj was narrating this episode from the Bhagavad Mahatmya, from the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam given in Padma Puran. While traveling around the world in Kali Yuga, Narad Muni comes to Bharat. He comes to this particular land and he wants to see what is the condition of the world in this particular age. And there he sees Bhakti Devi. Bhakti Devi is crying along with her two sons, Gyan and Vairagya. And Narad Muni then takes that particular vow in front of her that I'll personally ensure that there will be sufficient devotional festivals to propagate your glories everywhere in the world, in each and every home, within the heart of each and every person. So that is what was being specified.
There is no corollary or conclusion to be made about the slow, if you will, disappearance, the gradual disappearance of Jnana and Vairagya.
Yeah,
That might come from
yeah,
Bhakti Devi.
yeah, of course. In Kali Yuga, the paths of Gyan and Vairagya have severely dried up. So that is also another reason why, independently pursuing Gyan Marga, independently pursuing the path of Gyan, independently pursuing the path of Ashtanga Yoga and Vairagya has become very difficult in this particular age. That is the indication given there.
And there's no connection with them being the sons of Bhakti Devi, that somehow this Jnana and Vairagya will, I don't know, disappear. Even though they may come from the practice of bhakti, they will become irrelevant or invaluable. Like, is there any understanding to be taken or just ignored?
No, it's just in the Bhagavatam it says Janayatyashu Vairagyam Jnanam cha yada haitukam. There's a verse in the Bhagavatam, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitah Janayatyasu Vairagyam Jnanam cha yada haitukam. I will share my screen. This is the verse 127, which says that by rendering devotional service, bhakti, one immediately acquires gyan and vairagya, detachment. So these are the offsprings considered as offsprings of Bhakti Devi, but they are required. I mean, their importance has reduced very much in Kali Yuga. Also, their practices, the capabilities of people to separately execute Gyan and Vairagya has severely reduced in this age. So it is only Bhakti which is strengthened by Narad Muni's vow as he took. So that is what can be understood.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Purushottam Prasad Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam, and Pranams to all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Prabhuji, thank you for, as usual, wonderful enlightening class and referring wonderful examples and quotes. Prabhuji, regarding this particular verse, what is the mode of a devotee? Like in Chaitanya-Charitamrita, third verse, when you explained, one can realize this Trinadapi Sunichena when they reach Bhava Bhakti. So similarly, this particular verse, I don't know how many Grahamedis and Grahasthas are very favorable to this particular verse. And some of the devotees, when they recite in the morning prayers, instead of na dhanaṁ, na janam, na sundarīṁ, they say sa janam, sa janam, sa sundarīṁ also, some of them. So
Yeah.
for such a devotees, nirbandha krishna sambandhe yukta vairakyam uchyate. So that is also there. And dhanaṁ, janaṁ, sundarīṁ, this intention of this prayer is this dhanaṁ, janaṁ, sundarīṁ is an obstacle, or unless you renounce this, you cannot attain ahaitukī bhakti. What is the mood of this verse? How a devotee, as a practitioner, has to grasp this spirit of this particular verse?
Yeah, why target only the poor householders, isn't it?
No,
In
sundarīṁ comes. No,
no, no.
sundarīṁ comes.
See,
That's
I'm
the
just
reason.
saying these things.
Okay.
Often we target the poor householders. Every morning in the various temples, we say na dhanam, na janam, and then people go for fund collection and making new members, isn't it? Why
Correct.
should the poor householders be the targets?
No.
I'll come to those aspects in the detailed discussion after finishing the commentary by
Okay.
Sri Radha Govindanath, because I don't
Sure.
want to give a premature answer to that and a short answer to that. But this verse will allow me to dive into dharma, artha, and kam, since the commentators have already highlighted that. So I
Okay.
will definitely get into that.
Yes, we'll wait. Okay.
But
Okay.
be rest assured that there will be sufficient justice done. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Next, we'll go to Kriparam Prabhu.
Dandavad Hari Pārṣad Prabhu, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis. We are studying in our community the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and the next verse is dhanaṁ sisyadpi dvarair ja bhaktir upapāyate. I think that is very similar to this part of Siksastakam. And I have one query. We try to follow the instruction of Lord Chaitanya in our life, but for example, when we are in charge of organizing meetings with different sadhus, different missions that they travel around the world, some of them, they don't have this feeling of I want more CCs, I want more money, but another, they have these feelings or the desires in the heart, and they try to initiate a lot of people. And how to deal with this, because I know that they are sadhus, or their practice, they're preaching the Mahamantra that you explained in the first offense to the holy name, that this is the worst offense. But in the other hand, it's difficult to organize some program with them, because if they try to jump and not respect the local preacher, is so difficult. How to deal with these sadhus that they have the desire of dana or sisyas, but they preach and they travel.
All right. Very wonderful question. That when especially we invite various sadhus, and these sadhus, some of them have no desire for dhanam or janam, and some sadhus sometimes may show some desire, but we are supposed to respect all sorts of sadhus. So how do you deal with that particular desire, or how that particular situation? And here is the verse from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu: Dhana Shishyadibhir Dvareirya Bhakti Rupapadyate Viduratvad Uttamataha Nyastasyascha Angata. And where Sri Rupa Goswami says that these desires are far away from Uttama Bhakti. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, however, gives a very wonderful take on it. He says, Bhakti Anganam Madhye Shravana Kirtanader Dhanadi Dvaratvam Prayo Na Sambhavati. Amongst all limbs of Bhakti, Shravan Kirtan don't require dhanam. Shravan Kirtan don't require any wealth, etc. You can do it for free. Kintu, however, Paricharya Ghataki Bhuta Yavad Vyaparasya Ekada Kartum Asadhyattvena Yasya Dhanashishyadi Dvaratvam Tasya Tasyaiva Mukhyatva Kintu Paricharya Ghataki Bhuta. If, however, for deity worship, etc., for preaching, etc., if it is not possible to do some things alone and you require the help of wealth, you require the help of disciples or followers. And he says, tasya tasyaiva mukhyatva hani. Only those limbs of bhakti are to be considered as non-uttama. But the same person can also practice other limbs which are uttama. That is what Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says here. So he says, Hani, the loss is in only those limbs of bhakti which require wealth or disciples. Other limbs can still be executed in an uttama manner. Please excuse me. So, there is still a possibility that this person may be executing some form of uttama bhakti through other limbs, but not through limbs which require wealth and disciples. So, in this way, we can say that this particular sadhu, for his preaching, he is engaging in a particular form of bhakti, which according to Srila Rupa Goswami is not uttama bhakti, but that is specific to this limb of preaching. Maybe in his personal life, he still executes some limbs of bhakti, which are free from dhanaṁ, janaṁ, sundarīṁ, etc. So like that, we can understand and respect all sadhus. But in general, if we are uncomfortable with inviting somebody who canvasses themselves, then it is better either to tell the audience in advance that, such attempts may be made, so please be aware. Or, it is better to invite only those sadhus with whom we are fully like-minded. This is what can be done. Okay? So that is the answer to this query. Thank you. Thank you.
Prabhuji, may I ask a question related?
Sure, sure.
So, Prabhuji, like you started by saying, Shravan and Kirtan does not require any wealth.
Yeah.
But I feel that even to do Shravan, now, first of all, these days, yes, we have technology. You are sitting in Mumbai, I'm in Portland, and I'm doing Shravan thanks to modern technology. Otherwise, I would have to travel to Mumbai to be able to get your Shravan in the olden days. Otherwise, I'd be missing out on all this. And so that's one thought that is coming to my mind. But anyway, that's not relevant in modern context. We have technology, so let's keep that aside, perhaps. The other and the more important thing I feel is when you are doing Shravan from such advanced and such revered Vaishnavas, you need to serve them. You need to render service. It's not okay to do Shravan and not render any service. It could be in terms of time and effort or money. They never ask, or they may never have an intention to ask, but everybody has needs. I mean, even a sadhu has to, maintain little bit, some needs. They have to eat, they have to have some shelter and clothes on their head, and things like that. So, and however we may feel that they don't need, they don't ask, it's not right. I feel we must serve them. Otherwise, even the Shravan will not work. It will not have that effect on our heart if we don't reciprocate properly. So it requires means and wealth to be able to do that. That's my thinking or my feeling. And just, putting, Sawa Rupiah or $11, as we say, does not tantamount to, reciprocation. It need to be meaningful. What we have received is life altering. Even with Bill Gates' wealth, maybe this life can become perfect, quote unquote. The next life will not become perfect. But with gurus or with Vaishnava's instructions, the potential to perfect next several lives exists. And therefore, that is much more than what even Bill Gates can give. So is Prabhuji there or we lost?
Yeah, I'm here, Prabhu. So what's the question?
Okay, sorry, your video went. Okay. So yeah, so Prabhuji, how do we understand that Shravan does not need wealth?
Shravan itself is a seva. When you give time to a particular sadhu, so you're giving a resource of your life you will never get back. So Shravan itself is you giving your time and attention to a sadhu. That itself is one of the 9 sevas. If the sadhu requires anything, either, you can ask. It's obviously tadati pratigranati is a basic principle of all Vaishnava interaction. But it is dependent on the intelligence of the person who's performing Shravan. That they should also have the feeling that dadati, or pratigranati, or both things should happen. But the main thing is that we are giving our time for listening to the sadhu, and that is what, that is the seva part of the Shravan. And besides that, the sadhu may have some minor needs for maintaining themselves. So Bhagavan takes care of that. It's not that it is dependent on one person. Bhagavan takes care of that. If one person will not do, it's not that somebody else will not do it. And I always say this thing. Let's say, Param Karuna Prabhu, you work for somebody for 1 hour, but they don't pay you. And this is the material example from material world. Does it mean that you will never get paid?
If I have faith on Bhagavan, then yes, somehow or the other it will come.
So that's how sadhus operate.
Yes, Prabhuji, you are answering. I think it's it's a very, in a mood of humility you have answered. If I may.
No, I seriously, no effort is without reciprocation by Bhagavan. Ye yatha mam prapadyate, tam tathaiva bhajameham. So there is no effort without reciprocation from Bhagavan. Bhagavan gives reciprocation. The instrument may vary. The person who brings the reciprocation may vary. So that's what I'd like to say.
You're answering from, okay, talking about it in a very logical manner. You're responding from the standpoint of the sadhu. That's how the sadhu thinks. And that kind of thinking is exactly what makes him a sadhu. I'm talking from the standpoint of the shrota, or the listener who is trying to do Shravan. Somehow I feel that it is not right to. The Shravan will, let me be selfish and say, the Shravan will not have effect on my heart if I don't. And if I don't reciprocate profusely, not just little bit. And again, profusely means very reasonably nicely, because what I have received is invaluable. And that's the part I was asking about. And also to say that giving the time, I am giving time for myself. I'm not giving it to the sadhu in that sense. He is speaking. If 5 people are listening or 500 are listening, it's the same. So it's time is mine and I'm investing it. It's my investment. It will reap results for me lifetime after lifetime. So I don't see, somehow I'm not seeing it as giving it to you, to the sadhu. Yeah. So could you, again, I'm sorry, I'm pressing on it, and it's not a second question. I hope you can see that it's a clarification on the first one. So it's still
the sadhu is also under immense debt, because there's a verse in Sanskrit, I'll try to remember that. Anrini bhavet. There's, even if a single syllable is taught by a sadhu, there is nothing you can give in the world to pay it back.
Right.
There's nothing in the world that you can give to pay it back.
Exactly.
And the sadhu is also under a similar debt. Nobody is free in the Vedic universe. Nobody is free. We are all heavily indebted individuals. And therefore, the only way to pay back is to teach it to somebody else. So there's really nothing that any listener can give to reciprocate with the sadhu that they are listening to. But the sadhu also has learned from previous sadhus, and the sadhu also feels that there's nothing I can give in return, because many of them have disappeared from this world. Let's be very honest, what can we give to Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada? There's nothing that we can give to him, really. There's nothing in exchange for a single alphabet that he has taught us. So similarly, all are indebted, and it's very good to have that feeling of indebtedness, so that we remain, bowed down in front of the sadhus, previous sadhus. So from the point of view of the listener also, there's nothing that can be done, except perhaps for learning nicely and then propagating the words of the sadhu to eligible people. That is what can be done. Thank you, Prabhu.
All right, Prabhuji. I'll ponder over it. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes.
What the phrase that's coming to my mind is paying it forward, rather than taking it back.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, I'd like to show that verse. Wonderful verse. I'll share my screen so that we can, have a look at the verse. Let me just share that particular verse in front of me. Ekamevaksharam yastu guruhu shishyam prabodhayed prithivyam nasti taddravyam yaddatva chandrani bhavet. I'm sharing my screen. Prabhu, perhaps you can. Yeah. Can you please read the verse, Prabhu?
The meaning of Subhashita, that portion?
Yeah. I'll try to zoom into it. I'm not able to zoom in for some reason.
It's okay. I can read, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Even when the teacher has given the student insight into one syllable, there is no such wealth on this earth one can give to become free from this debt.
Yeah, so this is the answer. Ekamevaksharam yastu guruhu shishyam prabodhayet prithivyam nasti taddravyam yaddatva chandrani bhavet. This is the verse I was referring to. There's nothing that can be given. So that's the answer to your query.
Okay, Prabhuji, I'll be satisfied with that. Let's go to the next question. Next is Devesh Agarwal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. It was a very nice lecture. My question is like a little bit from the Sanskrit side. As it was said that bhavatād is similar to bhavatu here. So does bhavatād has a separate meaning if not converted, if not derived from bhavatu as itself? And the second part is that the grammar which is mentioned by in the commentary is not that I've heard of. Like the grammars which I've heard is like the major 9 grammars, and of which the Panini system is the main. So this is my doubt, and I wish for your recovery fast. My English is very like a little bit poor. I'm not able to ask my question properly, but I hope my feelings get transferred.
Yeah. So you asked a question about bhavatād and bhavatu, and
Yes.
see in Panini's Ashtadhyayi, I will quote from Panini's grammar. I will share my screen. So this is Panini's Ashtadhyayi, and in Panini's Ashtadhyayi there is that particular sutra which is used for it says Ashishi Ling Lotau. This is 33173, and in Ashishi Ling Lotau it says I will show the English. Ling Lakar and Lot Lakar are used to express the desire of something from Bhagavan, from a deity which cannot easily be attained. So Lot is also used, Ashishi, in the sense of benediction. Ashish is benediction. So Lot Lakar, by this sutra, Lot Lakar is used also for ashirvad for asking something. And then the sutra which was used by in Panini Munis for replacing Tungas Tad Adesha, which he let me find that particular sutra here, because I'm not able to type that so easily.
It is a major problem in
yeah, so this is
typing English.
7.135. So here it is. Tuyos tatanga shishyanyatarasya. So this particular sutra, it says ashishi vishaye lot lakarasya tu hi pratyayo vikalpena tatang adesha bhavati. So it says very clearly, I will show the English translation. When lot lakar is used, and we use lot lakar to express the desire of unattainable, the tu of bhavatu, the tu are optionally converted to tatang. From tatang only tat will remain. The tu is optionally converted to tat. So this is using this. These are the two main sutras that are used. Regarding the grammar of Sankshipta Sar Vyakaranam of Shri Kramadishwar, there are many grammars: Saraswat Vyakaran, Kalap Vyakaran, Sankshipta Sar Vyakaran. Many Sri Jiv Goswami mentions many of them at the end of Harinamamrit Vyakaran. Panini's is the most prominent, and many other grammars have derived from Panini's grammar. In fact, Sri Jiv Goswami himself first studied Panini's grammar, and besides that, he also studied other grammars. So that is good.
Okay, so Prabhuji, like it's a follow-up question. Like before the Paninian system of grammar, as I've heard, I have not studied it personally. The story which I've heard is like that at earlier times, Indra has learned all the words as it is from his guru, and then when all the devas asked him,
so that was Indra Vyakaran. That Vyakaran is lost now. Now we have Panini's Vyakaran.
So before Panini's system of grammar, how does people like used to learn grammar? Like the story which is told in traditional schools is like Panini was a very dumb student, and then his Guru Mata told him.
I understand, but I mean, that's a different discussion. What I am saying here is that previously there were other grammars, Indra Vyakaran, etc. There was the Sangraha of Vyadi Muni, but now we have many descriptions of how they were lost. But at least today we have Panini's grammar.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Next, we have Kamanga Harini Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranam. Thank you for a very thank you for a very informative and detailed class. Prabhuji, my question is regarding the commentary of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, where it was mentioned that in the beginning, devotees hear Harinam from the mouth of their guru, then they become eligible for kirtan in an offenseless manner. So, Prabhuji, how can a sadhaka understand this? Because sometimes they are not there is no personal connection with the guru or personal association. Even to reach out to one's guru takes a lot of 4 or 5 people or some mediums. So, and offenseless chanting means how can we understand this?
Therefore the need of having a Shiksha Guru who is accessible. One of the gurus, either the Diksha or the Shiksha Guru, should be accessible. The very meaning of the term Shiksha Guru is that we should be able to have some connection of Shiksha, have some connection of receiving proper knowledge from that Guru. If we don't have that particular connection of Shiksha, ideally the Diksha Guru can give Shiksha. That is the ideal case. If that is not possible, then at least a separate Shiksha Guru. Now, if we have a separate Shiksha Guru, then at least from the Shiksha Guru, we should be able to get Shiksha. Now, if Shiksha is not possible from Shiksha Guru, then for what purpose do we call them Shiksha Guru? That is a very important question. So, at least from a Shiksha Guru, we should receive Shiksha. It's like just from a teacher, we should receive teaching. From a doctor, we should receive medicine. From a judge, we should receive a good decision. So from a Shiksha Guru, we should receive Shiksha. It's just as logical as that. All right. So at least from a Shiksha Guru, we should receive Shiksha, if not from a Diksha Guru. And from any one Guru, if we receive that, then the job is done. So that is what Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying there. Because he personally received his own Shiksha from Sri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. Most of the tattva about Harinam he received from Sri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, who was his Shiksha Guru. He also received a lot of valuable Shiksha from his Diksha Guru. But his most important contributor to his own spiritual life was Sri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, his Shiksha Guru. So that is how we can understand. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Next, we have Ram Priya Keshav Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dandar Pranam. Thanks for the wonderful class. I will keep my question short. My question is regarding the word sundarīṁ kavitāṁ. So there are some commentators, authors, acharyas, they have given the meaning as beautiful spouse, and others have given a different meaning. So when we are trying to realize this verse, so how do we take it? I mean, like, should we leave it to the Paramatma to inspire us of how it is to be taken, or how do we take this? That's my question, bro. Thank you.
Some acharyas say sundarīṁ is a separate term, kavitāṁ is a separate term. Some acharyas take sundarīṁ as an adjective of kavitāṁ. How should we take it? I mean, you can take it, you can take the broadest possible explanation. There is a logic in Sanskrit called as kakakshi nyaya. Kakakshi nyaya means the logic of the eye of the crow. So there is a legend that crows only have one eye, and that one eye flips between the left eye socket and the right eye socket. The reason why I am saying this is because you can use the term sundarīṁ in that particular fashion. So you can say sundarīṁ either aligns with kāmaye, na sundarīṁ kāmaye. I do not desire a beautiful spouse. Or the term sundarīṁ can also simultaneously align with kavitāṁ. Just as the same eye of the crow aligns with the left eye socket and the right eye socket, similarly, the term sundarīṁ can either align with kāmaye or it can align with kavitāṁ. Both. So you can take both meanings. Na sundarīṁ kāmaye, na sundarīṁ kavitāṁ kāmaye. Both meanings can be taken by kakakshi nyaya. Right? You take the broadest possible explanation and move ahead with it. So all the acharya's words are included within it. That is how I see this. And in future also, in future sessions, I will take the broadest possible explanation. So that helps us cover all the angles. So I hope that answers your query.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, I have one more question if we have time. Otherwise,
Yeah, you can come back.
Yeah, we can come back in the queue. There are devotees. After them, then Param Karuṇā Prabhu will call your name again.
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay. There's one question in the chat, Prabhuji, because now we have the repeat questions. This is from Shyam Mukund Prabhu. He's writing, my question is, while praying na dhanaṁ na janaṁ, being a householder, I still desire that my increment should be a certain percentage so that I can maintain my family members and their education, marriage, etc., etc. Sometimes I feel I'm being duplicitous while praying like this. How should I understand this?
Yeah. So it's similar to the query where, when we say na dhanaṁ na janam, and then we go out for collecting money or building followers. So that will be dealt with. Dharma, artha, and kam. We have to come to terms with dharma, artha, and kam. And recently I was speaking on this when I was in Govardhan. I was speaking on dharma, artha, and kam. We have to come to terms with dharma, artha, and kam in a holistic manner. Na dhanam, na janam, if, pasted on somebody forcibly without them having realized it and understood it, people will not be able to accept this verse. This verse was spoken by Mahaprabhu in Gambhira in the mood of Sri Radha. And for us to take this verse and directly try to force it upon a grihastha living in the modern world who is far separated from the mood of Mahaprabhu, obviously they'll not be able to digest it. Also, it is not expected that they will digest it. But we will come to that. believe me, when I get into a detailed discussion of that, we will harmonize everything. Don't worry. All right. Nothing will be left untouched, and no feeling of discomfort will be there when we sing the verse, but we should understand it in detail. Often, I'll just give a brief. Often, devotees are running away from necessary dharma, artha, and kam. They need some dharma, they need some artha, they need some kam, but they are trying to escape from dharma, artha, and kam, avoid dharma, artha, and kam on the pretext of immediate vairagya. And this vairagya is often forced, and therefore it causes a lot of issues either immediately or later in life. So therefore, what is the holistic view of dharma, artha, and kam? We will understand that because this is the verse where we get a chance to dive into that. So the answers are coming. Please, you'll need to have some patience for the future sessions. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful. Thank you, Prabhuji. Next, we'll go back to Vrajraj. I'm sorry, it's Vrajraj or Vrajraj. Both are Gopal Das.
Rajraj is the logical connection.
Can you unmute?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. My second question was with regards to, you mentioned Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's commentary referring to using jagadīśa to refer to Jagannath. It might have been covered in previous verses. I've just started listening to the series, but if Mahaprabhu is Krishna coming in the mood of Srimati Radharani, why is she addressing Jagannath with and feeling inadequate? Should there? I'm trying to understand why Jagannath and why not a personality from Vrindavan?
Mahaprabhu is Bhagavan in the mood of Sri Radha. Jagannath is Bhagavan in the mood of Krishna. So, Bhagavan wanted to experience the mood of Sri Radha, but Bhagavan cannot give up his personality entirely as Krishna. So, Bhagavan has to take on the personality of Sri Radha, but that gives him a new identity, Mahaprabhu, Śrī-Caitanya Mahaprabhu. And Śrī-Caitanya Mahaprabhu every day goes to see Shri Krishna in Jagannath Puri, which is in many ways comparable to Dwaraka. So he goes to see Sri Jagannath, who is Krishna, in the mood of Dwaraka. And in the mood of Sri Radha, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he expresses feelings of longing and separation for him. And in the daytime, he can still see him. In the night time, he is separated from Jagannath. So when Jagannath is resting, so Mahaprabhu spends that time in Gambhira, listening to songs of separation and expressing his feelings in the verses of Siksastakam, etc. So Jagannath Puri is a chamber of simultaneous union and separation. Please try to understand this. Jagannath Puri is a chamber of simultaneous union and separation. Those who understand the truth behind Jagannath Puri understand that Jagannath Puri is meant for simultaneous opportunities for seeing Jagannath and some simultaneous opportunities for being separated from Jagannath. And the peak point of this comes at Rath Yatra, because Rath Yatra is where Sri Radha sees Sri Krishna in Kurukshetra, and that is where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also saw Sri Jagannath in Rath Yatra, and that is the highest, perhaps one of the highest points of where they are meeting publicly. They want to express emotions, but he's unable to express it. So he sings that verse, Yaha Kaumara Harasa Eva Hivaras from Kavya Prakash. And then devotees are a little confused about why he's singing a verse from a mundane poetic literature. So I'm just given a brief analysis of what Sri Mahaprabhu's experience in Jagannath Puri is. I hope that answers it to some degree of satisfaction, although a detailed discussion is needed for this. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We have next question from Sachinandan Prabhu.
Oh, wonderful.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
My pranam, Shri.
Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Nice to see you, and thank you so much for restarting this series after what feels like a very, very long time for us. And although you drop bits of nectar, this class is very, very special. So thank you so much for coming back to us. And
Right.
and my pranams to all the devotees present here. Thank you so much for all your services. Prabhuji, my question is, I hope to express this properly, but you know, I guess when we hear the verse, most of the time we discuss this from an angle of, we shouldn't want dhanaṁ, we shouldn't want janaṁ, we shouldn't want these things. And it almost feels like it's coming from a place of, I'm not sure the terminology, but abhav, like, shortage of money. So, but we shouldn't want more. But I guess two things come into mind when I hear this. Is one is done, in my opinion, and from my understanding, comes from our previous karma. So whatever comes or doesn't come is really, just a combination of our brought up and etc.
Mm.
So in many ways, sometimes we can have the opposite problem where some is coming even though we don't want it.
Mm.
Or so in the way this verse is being translated, it feels that Mahaprabhu is saying, no, I don't want money. No, I don't want followers. I just want your bhakti.
Right.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is sometimes that comes anyways, has nothing to do with our
Yeah.
bhakti sadhana practice.
Yeah.
So is he also saying that I don't want this as a result of my bhakti? Or is he saying, I don't want this at all, and I will stop it and prevent it from coming? Because as you know from some of the other questions of our previous acharyas, it came to them many times. And so, how do we understand this? I hope that question made sense.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm sorry.
Wonderful. Yeah. The question is very important, and thank you for bringing it up. I'm very happy to see you, Prabhu. Let me ask you a few questions, Prabhu. Did Mahaprabhu have janam with him? Please tell
Yes,
me.
of course.
Of course he had. Did Mahaprabhu have kavitāṁ, poetic ability with him?
Definitely. He loved it.
He loved it. Did Mahaprabhu in his grihastha ashram have sundarīṁ, a beautiful spouse with him?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yes, of course.
Had. And na dhanaṁ, na janaṁ, na sundarīṁ, kavitāṁ. Well, he had everything, isn't it, at a certain point of time in his life? So let's put the speaker of the verse, and in the center of reference, and let's ask him. So you're saying na dhanaṁ, na janaṁ, na sundarīṁ, and so then what about all these followers like Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Swarup Damodar, Sri Gadadhar Pandita? So does it mean that you stop considering them as your followers? Obviously not. He would still continue to consider Sri Rupa Goswami as his follower. He would instruct Sri Rupa Goswami in how to write Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and other things. So there is a difference between bhukti and bhukti spriha. Bhukti
Right.
and bhukti spriha.
Desire versus the actual thing.
Yeah. So there is a difference between pratishtha and pratishtha asha that acharyas have differentiated between. And so I'll definitely take it up. So I'm just giving brief answers.
Okay.
All right. So that because many a times the verse is taken that you reject whatever you already have. Even Mahaprabhu didn't do that. All right. So the verse in his own example, Mahaprabhu didn't reject all the followers that he had. But we will see that this refers to asha or spriha in the future. I'm sorry. Yeah. So in future, I will I will have more discussion on these particular points, that it refers not to what has been gifted naturally without our desire, but it refers to cultivating more desire for dhanaṁ, janam, sundarīṁ, etc. So I hope that answers your query. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
We'll go back to Vrajraj Gopal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So my final question was with regards to the meter of this verse. You said it was in Viyogini or Sundari. This question has always perplexed me as to why the number of syllables as we start from the first verse and go down is it reduces. As we can as we read each verse, the number of syllables in every line reduces from verse to verse. So I was wondering if there is any hidden meaning behind that. Can it be taken to mean that?
No, the third verse had 8 syllables per line, Trinadapi Sunichena. And the fourth verse has more number of syllables per line. So there's no pattern in that.
Okay. Can we take this to mean that, I mean, is there a hidden meaning in that Mahaprabhu is so ecstatic that he's saying whatever is coming to his heart in whatever sequence, and that reflects in the changing meter or number of syllables from verse to verse?
I think the meters are a reflection of, some meters are pertaining to a certain mood. Viyogini means a lady separated from a lover. So he's speaking in that particular mood. So the specific meters are for specific moods. So that is the answer to the question.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, may I, on this similar topic, ask a follow-up?
Sure, Prabhuji. Sure.
So on the meters, like you said, each meter has a mood. And my understanding would be, please correct me, that it's a general statement, probably.
Yeah. It's not that you have to compulsorily use a meter for a particular mood. You can use different meters for different mood, but there are specific meters also for enhancing specific mood. For example, the Dūt Kavyas, messenger poetry such as Meghdut of Kalidas is written in the Mandakranta meter, which is for denoting separation. But it's not that all Dūt Kavyas are written in the Mandakranta meter. Srila Rupa Goswami's Hamsa Dūt is mainly written in the Shikharini meter, which also can be sung in a mood of separation. So there's no general rule in that particular regard. But some authors have specified some meters for some moods. So that is what it is.
Just if I may, and please let me know if it doesn't make sense, but there's some of the very popular meters that I have learned through your association and your shiksha is Shardul Vikriditam, Shikharini, Vasanta Tilakam, Indra Vajra. What are is there something you can say about the moods that generally they represent?
The acharyas, the original acharyas of Chanda Shastra did not specify any mood aligned with it. But what happens is that moods get associated with the ragas that we sing these verses in.
Right.
So later acharyas, what happened is, since Kalidas wrote Meghdut in Mandakranta meter, and since Meghdut is like, a yaksha in separation from his beloved for 1 year, he's writing, he's speaking this. So by Shishta Parampara, that Mandakranta became associated with the mood of separation. Original acharyas of Chanda Shastra have not said that this is for this mood or that is for that mood. It's only by popular usage that certain meters become associated with certain moods. And any poet can change that, but it's difficult to change Kalidas because he is the numero uno of the poets of the material world. So it's said that when the great most intelligent people started thinking of the great poets, only one name came. See this one finger, and it's Kalidas. This one finger is called Anamika. Anamika means no name. So no other name, Anamika. Only one name, Kalidas is the name which came to their mind. So in the material world, in the poetry of this world, Kalidas is the best. Upama Kalidasasya. There is no comparison to the similes of Kalidas. So it's like that. So recently I had also shown Sri Sanatana Goswami's commentary on Kalidas's Meghdut and a verse from that particular. So like this, by popular usage, some meters have become associated with certain modes, nothing else.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. This whole, I can only say this whole deep mystery of chandas and how to even know that there are chandas and syllables and singing them in particular ragas or tunes and all this, I can put my hand on my heart and say, I have learned it from you and got it from you and got the inspiration from you. And thank you so much for opening up this whole treasure house. Please.
Well, it's the universe of the previous Acharya, so welcome to the universe. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for opening the doors to that universe. Okay, we have a question by Devesh Agarwal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So if this is the last question, can I ask it like about something else, like from aside from this talk, or
No, let the query be focused on this talk, because if it is based on a previous talk, maybe you can ask in the group. But if it is related to something, so that the questions are related to the topic at hand.
Okay. So one of the confirmation is that it is regarding this talk only. You mentioned Kakakshi Nyaya, and is it the same? Like my doubt is that how does like Nyaya logic is applied to Sanskrit? Because I have heard it also in the first phase of Updesha Amritam in Vacho Vegam Mansa Krodh Vegam, that Mansa is also like used like both sides. If I'm not remembering incorrectly.
Yeah, Vegam aligns with both Manasa and Krodha.
And
yes.
So how does logic is applied to Sanskrit grammar? Because it becomes like a totally different domain. Like if you start applying logic to Sanskrit, then a whole different domain gets opened.
Of course. Nyaya Shastra
you can make out meanings which are not there from a shloka. If you start applying logic to them, you can like derive out meaning which are not intended also sometimes. Like I have read some Sanskrit books like which give out total different meanings of the verse by manipulating the verse in such a manner that you will like I have literally hold my head like what is this happening here? The grammarian breaks down the word in such a way the meanings come out totally different. So, and they would quote proofs also like this is from this sutra and all those proofs they like align it very well. But
yeah, I understand that. For example, I'm just showing you an example from Sanskrit grammar. Here is Panini Sutra 2464. Yayayoscha. And in the commentary, Nyas commentary says Manduk Pluti Nyaya. Manduk Pluti Nyaya. What is Manduk Pluti Nyaya? Manduk Pluti Nyaya is the logic of the jumping of a frog. So that is what Manduk Pluti Nyaya. So actually he's taking a term from a sutra.
It is like three ways: the Ganga Pravahit and the watching of the lion, and like I've read in the Harinamamrit Vyakaran of Goswami.
So
like
this
little
is
bit of
So this is Manduk Pluti, which means that he should have taken a term from the previous sutra, but he's taking a term from many sutras behind. He's taking from the 57th sutra, he's deriving a term in the 64th sutra. But you're taking a term from so many sutras behind which logic. So it's Manduk Pluti Nyaya, the logic of the jumping of the frog. So many times Sanskrit is such a creative language. You can, the beauty of the Sanskrit language is in its multiple creative abilities to express multiple meanings for the same essential verse. And that is why there is a particular text in Sanskrit called as Amaru Shatak. Amaru Shatak is about 100 verses of romantic poetry. It's just mundane romantic poetry. But there is a commentary on it which gives the exact opposite meaning of Vairagya from Amaru Shatak. Although Amaru Shatak is poetry for romance, there's a commentary on Amaru Shatak which gives a meaning of detachment from each and every verse which has romance embedded in it. So,
But doesn't it create like the writer was writing something in a mood and somebody else came and he twisted the whole poetry?
that's what it is. That's what your poetry is open to interpretation unless you write your own commentary. Therefore, many poets write their own Swapagyatika, their own commentary on their verses so that people can understand what was the bhavarth, the essential meaning of the verse.
So it
Right?
okay.
Thank
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
So there's a question online. There are some answers, but I do want to shine light on it. One devotee is asking, where can we find previous lectures on this series? One devotee posted the playlist link, but I want to just highlight for those that they may not know. Probably there are not many such people here who don't know. But on YouTube, Prabhuji has a wonderful channel, which is a blessing for all of us. And you can go to YouTube and either search for Hari Pārṣad Das, or I have put the link in the chat, but it's just best to just search by his name. And not just this series, but the previous series, wonderful multi-year series on Shri Upadeshamritam, plus many, many other talks that he has given at many places. They're all there on his YouTube channel. So that YouTube channel is just a treasure house of wonderful nectar that you will be busy for many, many hundreds of hours. So, and if by chance you are done with it, then you can go over it again. So I just wanted to, and there are some classes that Prabhuji gives in other locations which are not on his channel. So just search for his name, Hari Pārṣad Prabhuji, Hari Pārṣad Prabhu, Hari Pārṣad Das. Those other people who put it on their channels may put different versions of his name. So search for all that and you'll get just a treasure house of links to Prabhuji's nectar. There's no one way to get to it, and the more effort you will put in, the more you will dig out. All right. One more question, Devesh Prabhu. Please keep it short and concise.
I think he didn't lower his hand. I think that's what happened. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oops. He's raising his hand again, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
Maybe
sure.
Prabhu, you just mentioned Sanatan Goswami's commentary on Meghdut. Can you, like, in which lecture, like you have told it?
It was not told in a lecture in Siksastakam. When I was in Govardhan, I had mentioned about the introductory verse. You can also see that in a recent post that was made on Facebook. If you or if you were in the group, WhatsApp group, perhaps Karuṇā Prabhu, did I share it in the WhatsApp group also?
The Govardhan series?
No.
Yeah.
The verse by Sri Sanatan Goswami, his introduction verse to Kalidas's Meghdut.
I'm a little bit spacing out, Prabhuji. Let me look.
Yeah, here. Anyways, here it is. You can also find it on Facebook. This Sri Sanatan Goswami's commentary on Kalidas's Meghdut, and there was this introductory verse, that at first two introductory verses you can find it. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Right. We come to the end of the class, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, in spite of being not well and not in your highest
Yeah, I'm sorry. My health is all over the place. I'm really sorry. I'm really very sorry. My health is all
We are
over the
so thankful. I mean, again, there's no way we can reciprocate, and thank you.
You can reciprocate by forgiving me for my health issues. Sorry, I couldn't. I'm not in the optimum of my health. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. And now I have unlocked the unmute, so please unmute and give a huge shout out and your heartfelt gratitude for Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you so much.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Krishna Prabhu Ji
Srila
ki jai. Hari
Prabhupada.
Pārṣad Prabhu Ji ki jai.
Srila
Krishna
Prabhupada ki jai.
Prabhupada ki jai. Hare
Thank
Krishna
you.
Prabhu Ji.
Prabhupada ki
Thank
jai.
you so much for wonderful class.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Ji. Dandavat pranam.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Jai. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Ji. Hare
Jai.
Krishna.
Jai Srila Prabhupada. Jai.
Hare Krishna. Okay, I'll log off and close the call. Thank you, Prabhuji. We'll see you again soon, hopefully next week. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Dandavat pranam.
Thank you Prabhu Ji.
Jai
Thank
Srila
you.
Prabhupada.
Hare
Jai Srila
Krishna.
Prabhupada.